in the charming city of Lamego, Portugal, nestled between lush hills and ancient vineyards, a sinister tale lingers in the air. Long ago, a woman was accused of witchcraft, her fate sealed by the superstitious locals who could not understand her ways. They condemned her to a fiery end, but not before she cast a curse upon the city with her last breath.
"You shall remember my name, and on the night of Halloween I will return,"
she cried, her voice echoing through the ages. Ever since that fateful night, it's said that her spirit haunts the cobblestone streets, especially on Halloween. Many claim to have seen fleeting shadows, dark figures that glide through the alleys, whispering secrets of old. The townsfolk share a warning. If you encounter her shadow, prepare for a year of misfortune. As the sun set on a crisp Halloween evening, Laura, a curious traveler fascinated by local legends, arrived in Lamego. Her heart raced with excitement, eager to delve into the mystery surrounding the witch. She had heard the stories, of course, but a part of her wondered if they were merely tales spun to frighten children. But heed this warning. If you hear a chilling laugh carried by the wind, do not follow it. It may lead you to something far worse than fear. Armed with only her camera and an insatiable thirst for adventure, Laura wandered the winding streets, capturing the beauty of the old town. The golden glow of street lamps bathed the cobblestones in warmth, but as darkness descended, the air grew heavy with an electric tension, making her skin tingle. She paused near the square, where an ancient tree stood, its gnarled branches stretching toward the moonlit sky. Locals avoided this place, whispering tales of shadows that lurked beneath its leaves. Always remember, if you feel an unnatural chill, something is watching you. As the clock struck midnight, a sudden gust of wind swept through the square, extinguishing the lanterns that flickered around her. Laura felt the temperature drop, a coldness wrapping around her like a shroud. It was then that she saw it, a fleeting shadow darting past the tree. Her heart raced as she instinctively raised her camera, hoping to capture a glimpse of the supernatural. But be warned, never look into the darkness for too long. You may invite something unwelcome. Before she could comprehend what she was witnessing, a haunting figure emerged from the shadows, her form ethereal and shrouded in mist. Long, tangled hair framed her pale face, and her eyes glowed with a sorrowful intensity. Laura's breath caught in her throat as she realized she was looking at the Witch of Lamego.
"Why do you disturb my rest?"
she asked, her voice a haunting melody that echoed through the empty square. The weight of her curse seemed to press down on Laura, the atmosphere thick with despair. Trembling, she found the courage to respond, "I seek to understand your story. Why do you haunt these streets?" The witch's expression softened, and she began to recount her tale.
"I was a healer, a woman of knowledge, but ignorance bred fear. They accused me of witchcraft and condemned me to a terrible fate. In my final moments, I vowed to protect my home, even if it meant becoming a ghost."
As she spoke, shadows danced around them, swirling like smoke. Laura felt a chill creep up her spine.
"Those who see me will know my pain, and those who disrespect my memory shall suffer my wrath,"
she continued, her voice laced with sorrow. Her form flickered, a testament to the pain she felt, the anguish of a woman wronged by those she sought to help. Suddenly, Laura recalled another rule she had heard. Never speak the witch's name lightly. It is said to draw her anger. She hesitated, but curiosity overcame her fear. "What is your name?" she dared to ask. "Name me not," she warned, her eyes narrowing.
"For I am a reflection of the grief and sorrow that binds this place. Honor my memory, and I shall grant you a boon. Disrespect me, and you will carry my curse."
Laura stood frozen, torn between fear and fascination. The legend was more than just a tale. It was a living story full of pain and longing. She wanted to help the witch to break the cycle of her suffering. "How can I honor your memory?" she asked, her voice steady despite the racing of her heart. The witch's gaze softened once more.
"Tell my story,"
she implored.
"Share it with those who tread upon this land. Ensure that my legacy is not forgotten."
With her final words hanging heavy in the air, the witch extended her hand, revealing a small, shimmering crystal.
"Take this, and your journey shall be blessed, but tread carefully. To accept my gift is to bear the weight of my curse should you fail to honor it."
Laura faced a dilemma. She wanted to help the witch to free her from her sorrow, yet the weight of the curse loomed over her like a dark cloud. Remember, if you accept a gift from the spirits, be prepared for the consequences that may follow. After a moment of contemplation, she reached for the crystal. The moment their hands touched, a jolt of energy surged through her, and the witch's sorrowful expression transformed into a grateful smile.
"You have chosen wisely. But remember, every decision has a price."
As the first light of dawn began to break, the witch began to fade, her form dissolving into the mist.
"Remember me,"
she whispered.
"and do not let my story fade into darkness."
Laura awoke the next morning with the crystal clutched in her hand. The streets of Lamego felt different, lighter. She could hear the laughter of children playing, and the vibrant life of the town surged around her. The witch's curse seemed to lift, and she realized she had not just encountered a spirit, but a part of the town's soul. With the crystal pulsating gently in her pocket, Laura felt an unusual energy coursing through her. It was as if the witch's sorrow had become a part of her, compelling her to share her story. She visited the local library, researching the history of Lamego, uncovering tales of bravery and ignorance, of love and betrayal. That evening, she stood in the town square, gathering locals and curious travelers alike. With the moon rising behind her, she recounted the tale of the Witch of Lamego, her fate, and the curse she had cast upon the city. Remember, if you share a story, you carry the weight of its truth. As she spoke, the townsfolk listened intently, their faces a mix of disbelief and intrigue. Some gasped at the details, while others nodded knowingly. The atmosphere shifted, and Laura felt the witch's spirit lingering nearby, a watchful guardian. Days turned into weeks, and Laura's tale spread through the town, awakening a forgotten respect for the past. Every Halloween, people gathered in the square to honor the witch, lighting candles in her memory and sharing stories of her life. Years later, Laura returned to Lamego, now a celebrated storyteller. She had fulfilled her promise to the witch, ensuring that her legacy would endure. The town, once plagued by fear, now celebrated its history, embracing the lessons of the past. On that Halloween night, as the moon cast its silvery glow over the streets, Laura stood in the square once more, surrounded by a crowd eager to hear the tale. She could feel the witch's presence, a warm light within the darkness. For those who remember the past can change the future. As she finished the story, she glanced up at the ancient tree, its branches rustling softly in the wind. In that moment, she knew that the curse had been lifted and the witch had found her peace. If you enjoyed this haunting tale and want to hear more eerie legends, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a fright. And don't forget, there's another spine-tingling story waiting for you on the screen right now. See you in the next one, unless the witch comes to reclaim what is hers.